Hare Krishna, Srimati Priya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and welcome to the call. And thank you for all your glorious services, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Cinmayi Radhika Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for joining and welcome to the call. And thank you for your very nice chanting and all your services, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Cinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devi Dasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Excuse me. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call, Mataji, and thank you for all your services. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. This is Preeti Vilasini Devi Dasi from Atlanta. Thank you for your warm welcoming. Thank you for the chanting.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call, Mataji, and thank you for all your services. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat pranams to you and all the devotees on this call. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Sumi from India.
Hare Krishna, Sumi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for joining. Irrespective of the different time zones you are in, you're always here with your pleasant smile. Welcome, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Mataji, shall we start?
Yes, Mataji, just a second. Oh, Prabhu's not here. Let me check. You can start.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Once again, welcome to Bhakti Sanga Japa session in the mid-morning session. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Ramgiridhari Prabhuji with us, and Prabhuji will be talking on Caitanya Bhagavata Madhya khanda 8th chapter from 78 verses to 85th verse. But before that, I would like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today. The spiritual master and Krishna are two parallel lines. The train on two tracks moves forward. The spiritual master and Krishna are like these two tracks. They must be served simultaneously. Krishna helps one to find bona fide spiritual master, and bona fide spiritual master helps one to understand Krishna. If one does not get bona fide spiritual master, then how he can ever understand Krishna? You cannot serve Krishna without spiritual master, or serve just spiritual master without serving Krishna. They must be served simultaneously. This was said by His Divine Grace in his letter to Mahapurusha on February 12th, 1968. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Mataji, Prabhuji is not at here. Can we continue to chant till he joins?
I will check.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Ram Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Ramgiridhari Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your time and giving your association to us. We are eagerly waiting to hear from you, Prabhu. And you'll be talking today on Caitanya Bhagavata Madhya khanda 8th chapter from texts 78 to 85. So please take over, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Caitanya Bhagavat ki jai. Thank you so much for engaging me in this service. I'm right now in a holy place called Madurai, South India. I just arrived today for a week. We have some series of meetings for some projects here. So I'm on my telephone network. So just in case if the reception is bad, let me know. Otherwise, I'll be thinking that everything is okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Reading from Caitanya Bhagavata Madhya khanda, chapter 8, text number 78 through 85. Okay. Yata yata stane sabha parshada janmilam alpe alpe sabhe navadvipera ailam. All the associates, all the Lord's associates who took birth in different places gradually came to Navadvipa and joined him. Sabe jhani lena Ishwarera avatara Ananda swarupa chitta haila sabhara. When all the Lord's associates understood that the Lord has incarnated, their hearts were filled with ecstasy. Text 80. Prabhura prakasha deki Vaishnava sakalam abhaya pramanandhe haila vihvalam. As all the Vaishnavas saw the Lord reveal himself, they became fearless and overwhelmed with ecstasy. Text 81. Prabhu o sabhare deke pranera samanam sabehi prabhura parishadera pradhanam. The Lord also accepted them as equal to his own life. They were all confidential members of the Lord's entourage. Text 82. Vedayandre niravadikare anveshanam se prabhu sabhare kare prema alinghanam. The Lord, for whom the Veda constantly searched, embraced them all with love. Text 83. Nirantara sabhara mandire prabhu yayam chaturbhuja sadbhujadi vigraha dhekayam. The Lord regularly visited the houses of his devotees and exhibited to them his various forms, such as his four-armed and six-armed forms. Text 84. Kshaneyaya Gangadasa Muraraira Dhare Acharya Ratnera Kshane Chalena Mandire. Sometimes the Lord went to the house of Gangadasa or Murari, and sometimes he went to the house of Acharya Ratna. Niravati Nityananda Takena Samhati Prabhu Nityanandera Vicheda Nahikati. Nityananda constantly remained with the Lord. They were never separated for even a moment. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedantam Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So the context that we are in is very interesting, where just the previous verse where we started, till then Sachi Mata had a wonderful dream. In that dream, she saw Gaur Nitai playing, interacting with Krishna Balaram deities, and it was a very unique dream that she never could comprehend, but her Vatsalya Bhav coming with the devotional sentiments, all combined together, she was awestruck. When she shared with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so she said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu calmed her down and said that, whatever you saw, don't share it with anyone, because Mahaprabhu did not want anyone to get to know his identity during his manifested Leela, but for few devotees to whom he revealed himself. As we see in this portion of 7-8 verses, Mahaprabhu chose to visit different houses of Vaishnavas, and he is going and revealing himself, showing his four-handed form, six-handed form, and having transcendental loving exchanges. It is very interesting that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose incarnation is called Gupta Avatar, is a secret incarnation. Meaning that during his manifested Leela, not many knew about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Krishna himself. Even till now, general people consider him as a saint, a historical personality. But those of us who have got access to Gaudiya Vaishnava commentaries, Gaudiya Vaishnava descriptions, with their blessings, we got access to this most confidential information, knowledge, bliss, realization that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. But in those days, when Mahaprabhu wanted to keep everything under the wraps, on his own, he is visiting different devotees and trying to show who he was. So it is very nicely explained that out of those devotees' wonderful qualities, because of the devotion, Murari Gupta, Ganga Das, Acharya Ratna, etc. devotees, they had in their heart, the Lord volunteered and had happiness in visiting those devotees. We just read today that how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found himself very happy seeing his dear devotees. So, in one of the shlokas, we saw how this attraction towards the Lord is very, very interesting. In this way, Gaura Sundara engaged the devotees in chanting the holy names in Navadvipa. And verse number 70, 80. As all the Vaishnavas saw that the Lord revealed himself, they became fearless and overwhelmed with ecstasy. So we are going to, as usual, turn this current context through some sets of reflections. So these sets of reflections are meant to self-introspect and help us develop more sincerity towards this process of Krishna consciousness. My first reflection is about the Bhagavatas. Sri Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu about Sadhu Sangha. He explains out of the Panchanga Bhakti, of course, out of 64 Angas, 5 Angas are considered as very special, unique and important for a practicing devotee. So, in the Panchanga Bhakti, one of the Angas is Sadhu Sangha. So, for a person to have Sadhu Sangha, there are 3 considerations in a Sadhu Sangha. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu explains in verse number 1 to 91. Saja tishyase snigde sadhu sangasvato vare. Rupa Goswami Pad explains that when we are trying to associate, because we just read today, the Lord is not considering them or these associates as junior. He is giving them the treatment as if they are equal to him. He is treating them as if they are his family. He is treating them with so much of love. So, the first reflection goes about a beauty of Vaishnava relationships and Sadhu Sangha, wherein the 3 considerations that Rupa Goswami is saying. Saja Tishyasaye. Saja Tishyasaye means like-minded devotees. So in a Sadhu Sangha, there are several sadhus. Sadhus could be classified, anyone who is in the path of dharma, righteousness, is a sadhu. He is supposed to be respected. Anyone who chants the holy name of the Lord is a sadhu. He is supposed to be respected. But when it comes to association and building a relationship with the sadhu, the considerations are sajatishyasaye. So he says, like-minded devotees. Giriraj Maharaj, that day he was giving a class, and he was very nicely explaining that how that when we are followers of Srila Prabhupada, when we are subscribing to the purports of Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, we are already a like-minded cloud. We are already a like-minded devotees. So like-mindedness can be explained in such a broad phenomena, or even amongst the followers of Srila Prabhupada, we choose those association who appreciates, who encourages, who facilitates, who supports us according to our psychophysical nature and engages in Srila Prabhupada's service. So like-minded devotees. So these all associates, they are all, as in the words of Vrindavan Das Thakura, they are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's entourage. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally invested his time and his heart in each of these relationships, knowing that they are all going to be Mahaprabhu's soldiers. So Mahaprabhu not only reciprocated with them for their love for the holy name, for the process of spirituality, for even Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he even considered them as a bona fide, potential, and an important member to propagate the Sankirtan mission. So a Sadhu Sangha is just not limited to a formality or some sort of an external exchanges. It has got a very deep, purpose. A purpose of cultivating one's own love within the heart of Krishna consciousness, purpose of cultivating appreciation for other devotees towards their Krishna consciousness, and purpose is also about together we go out and win more and more souls to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So Sadhu Sangha is not just a private personal agenda. Sadhu Sangha's beginning could be that I nurture my devotion, but I can nurture my devotion when I appreciate his devotion and learn from that person's devotion, and together we go out and win more and more souls to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So like-mindedness in a relationship is very important. Typically Mayavadi ideologies is that you can go and associate with any sadhu, any deity, any form, anywhere. It is not like that. It is not just let loose philosophy. We are very solid scientific, substance given by our acharyas, where they say Sajatishya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, during his manifested pastime, before he began his Sankirtan Andolan, Sankirtan mission, he assembled a very solid team. And that solid team, he had very nicely cultivated them. And what was the ingredients of his cultivation? His ingredients of his cultivation was he outpoured from his heart, he poured out the love. And he poured out so much love that he treated them almost equal to himself. And eventually, with that, what he made them fearless. He made them completely operate on transcendental ecstasy. So Sajatishyasaye means like-mindedness. Snigde, in a sadhu sangha, there is another component that is expected of us is snigde, which means affectionate. It cannot be that I am a senior, I just keep coming and howling at somebody keep fixing somebody, keep challenging, chastising somebody. Affectionate. You see that in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even though here the relationship is Bhagavan and Bhakta, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is playing the role of Bhakta, Bhakta Avatara. So as a Bhakta to another Bhakta, and he is trying to reveal those confidential information which he even not revealing to his own parents, to his own wife, to his own dearest people in Navadvipa. He just chose few here and there and just revealed himself. So affectionate, dadati, pratigrihnati, guhyam akyadi prichati, bhungte bhojayate chaiva satvitam priti lakshanam. So it is very important. So in a sadhu sangha, the second consideration is there should be snigdhe, there should be affection. Give affection, expect affection. Give love, expect love, exchange love. It cannot be a relationship with, a complete formality. In Hindi, they say it is matlabi nahi banna hai, which means you are not supposed to be somebody who is having a relationship with full of expectations. If your expectations are fulfilled, you have a, hunky-dory relationship. If it is not fulfilled, you kind of show a rude face. It's not like that. Sajatishya sayes snigdhe. So affection, how do we show our affection to Vaishnavas? How do we show our affection? The way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing, revealing confidential things, exchanging gifts. You would have read it and you'll go to further read it. Nityananda Prabhu is personally treated like a child. Mahaprabhu goes to different houses and accepting prasadam, giving prasadam. He is visiting houses, eating prasadam, giving them opportunity to serve him. He is taking opportunity to see them. So when a sadhu visits travel, it is not that he doesn't have any other arrangement for food. When a sadhu travel, he carry Krishna in his heart. Sudha bhakata charanarenu bhajana hanukula bhakata seva paramasiddhi premalati karamula. So when Vaishnavas come, they carry Bhakti Anukula. Tukaram Maharaj is singing in one of the abhangs that he has only 3 desires. He says, I am a beggar. Deva hoina bikari. I am a beggar. Pandari chavarakari. So what are he begging? Ajamaja nema dharma mukim vittalancha nama. I want to do only one activity, only one dharma. What is that? Chanting Vittala's name. Ensimaji upasana lakim sandhancha charana. Second activity, I want to upasana, I want to serve, I want to worship the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. Aho dukkamane deva. So he says, I want to be in Vittal, I want to be in Pandharpur Dham, I want to chant the holy name of the Lord, I want to serve the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. There is nothing else I would need. So it's very nice, affectionate. The Lord reciprocates. Vaishnavas reciprocate. That is why it is said, devotees means happy devotees. So whenever we are in distress, we come to Vaishnava Sangha. Why? Because technically we are not expected to be judged. We are only receiving love, care, affection, direction, a warmth, not just in the material sense, but very much in the spiritual sense. Snigde. Svato vare, you associate with sadhus who are more advanced than yourself. That is why association to juniors or to give association to equals to share your association, share your experiences, love and care. And to senior, you take their association, hear from them, regularly hear from them. Just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 7 verses in the first canto, second chapter, starting from Srinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. One after the other, after the other, after the other. Sukadeva Goswami Pad is explaining, when you hear Srimad Bhagavatam attentively, when you hear Srimad Bhagavatam attentively and daily, when you hear Srimad Bhagavatam with rapt attention, what all will come? He says, unwanted things in the heart get cleansed. Devotional service is installed. Lust, greed and anger vanishes. Pure goodness, you are situated in pure goodness. And wonderfully, he is explaining that sequence. So, my first reflection is that how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his personal activities, by his personal, interaction, he had shown, he has revealed to us what it means to be these devotees. The Lord accepted them as equal to his own life. That's what Vrindavan Das Thakur is writing. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj is writing a very, interesting point there. All the devotees fully engage in the service of the Lord according to their heart's desire. The Lord also accepted their service and considered each of them as his dearmost servant. This is, however, cannot be applied to the conditioned souls. That is why Sri Chaitanya Chandra is known as Avatari, the source of all incarnations. All devotees engage themselves in the Lord's service according to their respective moods and become candidates for receiving the Lord's full love. They all know the Lord does not love anyone like he loves me. The envy that arises in this world due to discrimination resulting from one's inferiority or superiority is not found amongst the pure devotees of the Lord. So it is very wonderful to see how the Supreme Lord is, reciprocating. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj is, mentioning the last point, which is going to be my second reflection. He says, the envy that arises in this world due to discrimination resulting from one's inferiority or superiority is not found amongst the pure devotees of the Lord. So that opens up the second reflection. The second reflection being the reflection where the Supreme Lord is showing his love, showing his care, showing his affection towards those who are very kind and whose heart is free from envy. So I will just read a small portion from 3rd canto, 32nd chapter, 39 through 42. This is Lord Kapiladeva's instruction, where Lord Kapiladeva is finishing his instruction to his mother, and then he's saying whatever he's saying. He says, this instruction, Lord Kapila continued, I'll just read the translation, is not meant for the envious, for the agnostics, or for persons who are unclean in their behavior, nor is it for hypocrites or for persons who are proud of material possessions. It is not to be instructed to persons who are too greedy and too attached to family life, nor to persons who are non-devotees and who are envious of devotees and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Instruction should be given to the faithful devotee who is respectful to the spiritual master, non-envious, friendly to all living entities, and eager to render service with faith and sincerity. This instruction should be imparted by the spiritual master to persons who have taken the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be more dear than anything, who are not envious of anyone, who are perfectly cleansed, who have developed detachment for that which is outside the purview of Krishna consciousness. 3.32, shloka number 39 to 42. Kapila Deva is explaining, after finishing giving instruction to Mother Devahuti, so he is explaining who is eligible for hearing this. So the point that the second reflection that I want to try to drive home here is the Sadhu Sangha, the revelation, the association, the opening up of heart, considering these great Vaishnavas as his own life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing that because they are free from envy, they are free from discrimination based on caste, creed, gender, age, sex, various other criteria, whichever thing that Rupa Goswami condemns in Nectar of Instruction. The Vaishnava should not be seen based on any external considerations. So that opens up the second reflection, wherein for us to be recipient of such a wonderful Sadhu Sangha, because what happens is that a Sadhu Sangha is an endeavor happens from the sadhaka's side to attract, to be able to be accepted by a sadhu as a student. Because if our conduct is not in such a manner, if we are not behaving in a particular manner, how would we be accepted by some sadhus? So this opens up a very interesting point with respect to enviousness. So the idea is, in our Krishna consciousness, many times we have heard many things, but most of the time it remains in our ears, and finally we tend to either forget them or we tend to take them superficially. So His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj, I'm not sure if you all know him, it's a very senior disciple of Prabhupada, he is no more. So he talks about 4 types of envy. He talks about this in different forums, but in one forum he had a very wonderful conversation. He says there are 4 types of envy in a person's heart. The first type is called khala. This envy is such that the living entity plans and executes the destruction of other living entities. This is the first type of envy. The second type of envy is called dvesha. This envy is a very dangerous envy. And basically it is to create enmity in one's mind for various people. We hate living entities. First one is you plan and execute destruction, that is kala. Second is dvesha, I hate, I build an enmity. And third is called asuya. This is a subtle envy which makes the living entity find fault with others always. And fourth is the father of all the 3. It's called matsara, the envy which bites everyone without discrimination. Maharaj uses the word matsara to mosquitoes, matsara to machar, where the mosquito without discrimination go and bites everyone Maharaj uses the word called total envy. Finally, he says this Kala, Dvesha, Asuya and Matsara, they are like a pest. Maharaj is famous for acronyms. How pest? Kala means planning and executing. P. Dvesha means enmity. Asuya means subtle envy. You subtly keep, within your heart and find faults. And Matsara is total envy. Maharaj says this is a pest. Any form of envy in the heart is a pest. Because in a Sadhu Sangha, or what harms us, what restricts us. Because there are two qualities which will restrict our progress in Krishna consciousness. Considering me to be the Lord and envy of the Lord. Considering me to be the controller, I am not wanting anyone else to be controlling me. And this pest has to be really cleansed. So my second reflection is that Mahaprabhu's association, Mahaprabhu's revelation, Mahaprabhu's revealing his most confidential pastimes. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj very nicely write the purport, one of the purports to shloka number 83, if I'm right. He says, Mahaprabhu displayed his four-armed Narayana form, holding conch, disc, club and lotus to many fortunate persons. And he displayed six-armed form to others. The combination of two arms of Nrsingadeva, two arms of Rama, two arms of Krishna comprise the Sadbhuja six forms. The right hand of Nrsingadeva displays Bhakta Vatsalya, or affection for the devotees. The nails of his left hand tear apart the hearts of those who are envious of the devotees. Like that, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj very nicely explains this six Sadbhuja form the Lord is revealing to his dear devotees, and through this pastime, he is showing to us how he is simultaneously very, very dear to his devotees, and simultaneously he is very much against those who are envious. As Prabhupada used to say, a Vaishnava is as soft as lotus petal and as hard as thunderbolt. So my second reflection is that how it is important for us to recognize this envy as a very dangerous one. These classifications of Kala, Dvesha, Asuya and Matsara, which where you tend to groom the envy within our heart. They need to be uprooted. Maharaj further writes, he says this pest has to be driven away by a pesticide. He says, just like we use pesticide to kill the pest, thus that infects the crop, we also should use pesticide to remove the subtle and deep-rooted envy from the core of our heart. So he is giving, what is this pesticide? He says, number one, perceiving the temporary nature of the material world and everything seen around us. So perceive that everything around you is temporary and don't try to own it up and dwell on them. Second is eagerness to understand the transcendental nature of the Lord. Third, stopping of sense gratification. Himsam kamadi anihaya. 7:15:23. I'm just reading verbatim what is written here. Fourth is this, the time to be used cautiously in studying and contemplating on the scriptures, which will eliminate our thinking process for planned envy. Because planned envy is I plan and execute. Many times we have seen people, they would have made plans to knock us down. So time to be used cautiously in studying and contemplating on the scriptures so that this envy in the heart is very systematically and completely uprooted. Many times you have said introspectiveness, Atma Nirikshan. And introspectiveness in our dealings with others, especially when the subtle envy is generated within us. And Maharaj says, constantly striving for rectifying our envious nature, always by sincere chanting and service. Then he says, identify the value of time which is passing away, imperceptibility, and not waste frivolous in envying others. And D, develop a sense of belonging to all fellow beings as being part and parcel of Krishna. And last is envisioning our death always as we are all condemned to death. So he says pest can be cleansed by this pesticide. So I will share this acronym with all of you, maybe if you have not followed all the points. The idea is that for us to be the recipient of Lord's mercy, what was possible to Mukunda, what was possible to Gangadas, what was possible to Acharya Ratna, what was possible to all those people is possible even now. Krishna is ready to reveal himself to us. In fact, he is waiting. So it is not Krishna's restriction in not to show us. It is our preparedness, our readiness, so that we can, we can let the Lord reveal himself to us. We get qualified. And we don't need to strive too hard. It is very simple. As Kapila Deva explained this to Devahuti in the 3rd canto, 32nd chapter, shloka number 42, purport Prabhupada writes, the moment a candidate is ready to surrender to a bona fide spiritual master and ready to listen from him submissively, all the categories of envy and so much of animosity and agnostic nature within his heart gets completely cleansed. Yesterday, Jayapataka Maharaj was giving a class in Radha Rasmi Hari Temple when he was giving initiation. He said the relationship between Guru and disciple is very personal and intimate. But there are some things that the Guru expects from the disciple. And there are some things the Guru can do for the disciple. And he classified that the Guru expects that please invest in this relationship that you have sought. You have come forward. You have shown the desire to accept me as your spiritual master. And I have evaluated through my process and trying to accept you. So please work on what you are only supposed to work. So chant your rounds, follow 4 regulative principles, try to serve the orders of the spiritual master, try to behave in a manner where you are not committing any sins, be respectful. There are certain things that you have to do. Then the reciprocation is very natural. I can pray for you. I can bestow mercy upon you. I can give service to you. So that way the relationship becomes very stronger. So the second reflection that I want to say here is that we can as well be the recipient of such mercy. The Lord will reveal himself to us. Maybe for them, he showed a 600 form, 400 form. But in our own little capacity, he will reveal himself in various different forms. In fact, every second moment, the Lord is strategizing to help us, proportionate to how much we want to help ourselves. So I want to conclude my second reflection is the pest in the heart, the 4 types of envy in the heart will restrict all the opportunities. We would be so close to the Lord, but still far away because of this, big barrier. So how do we get, how do we get forward is what Maharaj explained in terms of, these steps of pesticide. So it's important that we constantly put pesticide in our heart. The last reflection, the third reflection is, it is very nicely explained that in shloka number 81, sorry, shloka number 80. As all the Vaishnavas saw the Lord reveal himself, they became fearless and overwhelmed with joy. So this opens up another interesting topic, which is my third reflection, for which I will take the help of first canto, 7th chapter, shloka number 7. This verse I have chosen for a very specific reason. I will tell you a small history behind this verse. When Srila Prabhupada was in India, so he wrote commentaries for Bhagavad Gita. He wrote entire commentary for Bhagavad Gita, and he wrote commentaries for Bhagavatam. He was staying at Radha Damodar temple, and he was shuttling between Chippiwada in Delhi and Vrindavan. But most of the time he spent in Chippiwada because he has to print, write, print, proofread. So he used to stay in Chippiwada, which is now where Prabhupada used to live in Chippiwada in Delhi. That particular property is now under ISKCON's control. So when Srila Prabhupada compiled, if you had seen, I'm not sure how many of you have got access to it or seen it. When the very first time Srila Prabhupada compiled first canto, first part of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada ended with this shloka, 1.7.7. That first book, the very old first edition of Srimad Bhagavatam, if you see, Srila Prabhupada would have ended that book incomplete in the middle of the chapter, not even the middle of the just he had begun the 7th chapter, he would have ended this. And further in the footnote, he writes that this will continue. But why this verse is very interesting. Let us read this. Yasham vai shuyamanayam Krishne paramapurushaye bhaktir utpadyate pumsa shoka moha bhaya pakaha. Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So this verse, like how we say, the Paribhasha Sutra of Srimad Bhagavatam, the Paribhasha Sutra means the whole essence of Srimad Bhagavatam is to establish Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. But by understanding Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, what will happen? When you hear about Krishna, what will happen? When you hear this transcendental narration of Srimad Bhagavatam, what will happen? At once, it extinguishes the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. Shoka moha bhaya pakaha. So, if at all we want to promote Srimad Bhagavatam, whether we understand Krishna or not, how soon we'll understand Krishna or not, is another second stage. But the very first stage is simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to the Lord sprouts up at once. And that feeling, we have not even completely matured in that. By simply giving oral reception, so the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So the point I'm trying to drive home as a third reflection is, these devotees who had a wonderful sangha with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are free from this enviousness about which we spoke, and because they had simply enjoyed the company of the Supreme Lord, they are glorifying the Supreme Lord, they are hearing about the glories of the Supreme Lord, their heart is free from fear, lamentation, and illusion, which makes us struggle in this world. when a person is free from lamentation, when a person is free from illusion, when a person is free from all sorts of bhaya, Bajahure manam Shri Nanda Nandanam Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Abhaya Charanara Vindare. So, one of the symptoms of a self-realized soul, one of the symptoms of a sadhu, why Dhruva Maharaj was very much appreciated by Narada Muni? Because he overcame fear. His determination was so intense. His enthusiasm was so nice. Even though the purpose had adulteration, he had fearlessness to go towards his goal, go towards his object of worship. So the idea is that when our heart is filled with envy, we do not have appreciation for Srimad Bhagavatam. The points that we read from Kapila Deva to Devahuti, by that definition, none of us are qualified to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. None of us are qualified to hear about the purpose of devotional service. But on the counter side, to solace us, if we somehow or other start to hear oral reception, just give some oral reception. So it is very interesting. What is a restrictive convenient clause? What was restricting you in being the recipient of the mercy? Because we are envious, because we are hypocrite, because we are fault finders, because we are agnostics. So all those things, we had all those things. How will I become cleansed to even enjoy Srimad Bhagavatam? So the agenda here is, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we will relish Srimad Bhagavatam. By relishing Srimad Bhagavatam, we will become Bhagavata. By becoming Bhagavata, we will become the family member of the Supreme Lord, so much so to the extent that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will personally come and reveal his heart to us. So that is why this is the means and this is the end. So through this process, we reach this process. So the idea is that I use Ganga's water to offer it to Ganga. I use Krishna's remnants, Krishna's mercy, Krishna's kripa to offer it back to Krishna. So I am not able to enjoy, according to the restriction of Kapila Dev, that I would not understand this. These instructions are not meant for those people. But I am such a candidate. What am I supposed to do? My heart is filled with envy. I am agnostic. I am fault finder. I am a hypocrite. What am I supposed to do? If I am not candidate, if I am not supposed to sit in Bhagavatam class, where else I can go? So Srila Prabhupada says, you come back to Bhagavatam class by simply giving oral reception. One's heart will be awakened with pure love, feeling for loving devotional service at once, and it will extinguish fearfulness and lamentation and illusion in our heart. So these wonderful devotees, as explained by Vrindavan Das Thakura, these wonderful devotees, they are enjoying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's association. They are enjoying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's company just because they are free from enviousness. They are free from fearlessness. Just by oral reception, just by darshan, just by participating in the wonderful, Krishna consciousness assembly, they got the privilege of being Mahaprabhu's entourage. Mahaprabhu is going to start a very big worldwide Sankirtan mission. What Mahaprabhu started 530 years before, even till today it is going on. Mahaprabhu began it and his followers are continuing it. And by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, it will go on for another 9,948 years. Srila Prabhupada said, my books are the law books for the next 10,000 years. For sure, the Sankirtan mission will sustain till that point in time. Whilst Kali is giving a tough fight, I am sure Vaishnavas are no less. So they are also giving tough fight to Kali. I will end with this very small story that Srila Prabhupada, enacted in his Srila Prabhupada's pastimes. It was in Mayapur or some place, I do not know. Srila Prabhupada was, sitting in his Vyasasan or it was a very friendly or a very non-formal setup. So Srila Prabhupada had two bolsters to his side, and Prabhupada was leaning back. Some group of devotees were performing a drama. So the drama was about Kali, Parikshit Maharaj, and Kali Samvad or whatever it is. And I'm not sure the entire sequence of events, but the drama was arranged in such a manner that Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission began, and as and when Kali Purusha hears the holy name, Kali Purusha will feel suffocation, will feel really, tough. And as a part of the drama, so, slowly the Kirtan's beat was increasing and increasing and increasing. So the person who was enacting as Kali, he used to feel suffocating, he used to feel really, painful. And the Kirtan used to be, the tempo used to increase, and the Kali would, find himself dying. And it was seen that Srila Prabhupada, when he was witnessing this drama, he was, as a small child, he was, beating both his hands on the bolsters and says, more, do it more, let us kill Kali more. And where did the Sankirtan mission start? It started with all these wonderful loving exchanges that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu invested, instilled, and tried to use those soldiers and began the Sankirtan mission. So each and every devotee who are part of the Sankirtan mission, they are handpicked, they are chosen, and they are very, very respectable. We are very much indebted to each and every Vaishnavas, including the senior Vaishnavas in our own community, with whose help our Sankirtana, our bhajana is going on. As we just started reading, for knowing Mahaprabhu is starting such a Sankirtan mission, everybody is assembling, whoever is hearing this, whoever is fortunate, they are coming close by. They are starting to, come close by, start to live nearby, start to shift their families, because they all want to take advantage of this. And if we can extrapolate the situation to our current context, this is exactly what we are supposed to do. Good news has come. That good news is that Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission is spreading all over the universe, and recruitment is going on. Who wants to be part of it? Those who want to be the recipient of it, go for it. Those who want to, delay our journey, those who want to delay our, stay in this place, I guess, we are very, very unlucky that way. So it's very important that we need to take advantage of this Krishna consciousness movement, take advantage of this wonderful Vaishnava associations that we are blessed with, so that we can at some point in time be part of this Sankirtan Andolan and win ourselves and some more souls to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. So before concluding, I would like to summarize the three reflections that we had today. The first reflection we had was about the reflection about how a Sadhu Sangha is supposed to be having three considerations. Sajatishyasye, Snigde, Svatovare, which means like-minded, affectionate, and sadhu who are advanced than you. So these considerations are important in a Sadhu Sangha. With that, we will be able to develop Krishna Prema, we will be able to develop loving devotional service in our heart. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was giving such love, such affection, and he was trying to prepare his team by giving that love, because those devotees possessed those wonderful qualities. And one of the wonderful qualities they possessed was they were free from envy, free from discrimination, free from any sort of inferiority complex or showing anybody down. So with that, we discussed our second reflection, which is about the heart is filled with pest, 4 different types of envy. We spoke about kala. We spoke about how it is important for us to get rid of dvesha, how it is important for us to, get rid of the third form of enviousness, which is completely going to, subtly kind to kill us. And finally, the matsara, which is like a mosquito, indiscriminately biting everyone. So Mahavishnu Maharaj gave a very wonderful explanation on the pest needs to be killed with pesticide. I discussed all those points. I guess some devotees have shared that, a link, probably you all can read them. And the third reflection is that about the Bhagavatam 1.7.7 gives us a hope that anyone who hears Srimad Bhagavatam will be able to become free from fearfulness, lamentation, and illusion, because simply by oral reception, feeling for loving devotional service manifests in our heart. Otherwise, we will not be a candidate with all this dirtiness to study Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam helps us to become Bhagavata, and eventually we will be able to relish the more deeper aspects of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is the means and as well as the end. So we are very, very fortunate to be at least a student of Srimad Bhagavatam in our lives, and hope that someday we will, we will make it happen and also win more and more souls to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, Shri Caitanya Bhagavata ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Utaya Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Any questions or comments or reflections? I'll be happy to respond.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. It was a very, very beautiful class. So many deep realizations, Prabhu. And I really loved how you said qualities which actually make us not eligible to study Srimad Bhagavatam. Those are the qualities which we will get rid of by giving oral reception. It was beautiful. And all the 4 types of envy, I had never heard it before in such a very, very, I can ponder on each one of them. I have to. Prabhuji, can you please explain this Matsara a little bit? I didn't understand. Bites everyone without discrimination. What does that mean, Prabhu?
Matsara is, by the words of our dear Mahavishnu Maharaj, he says Matsara means mosquito type, indiscriminately going and trying to, harm everyone. And basically, you are not satisfied. You will never be able to satisfy in others' success. You will never be able to tolerate in others' success. You want somehow or other the other person fail. Para dukkha sukhi, para sukha dukhi. So that is Matsara in simple words. A very nice story was told by a devotee. A very funny story. There was a devotee of Lord Shiva. So this Grahastha, husband and wife, they were, really poor, or they were needing some support. So the wife said that, why don't you pray to Lord Shiva and maybe he will, help us with something. He is Asutosh, will immediately pleased and will help us. So the husband went and very, strongly prayed to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva said that, what do you want? So he kept on asking so many things. Lord Shiva said, I can't give you all those things, but all I can do is that I can give you with specific blessings by which you can kind of get at an appropriate time. So he gave a bell. He says, I'll give you a bell. You ring the bell. Because you have so many wish lists in your life, you are asking me, I will not be able to provide them. I will give you a bell. You, whenever you want something desperately, you ring the bell, you will get it. So this guy was super excited, saying that I went on with the list Now he gave me with the tool by which I can get as much as I want and whenever I want. But before this guy was leaving, Lord Shiva told him, there's a small secret in this bell. He said, you ring and ask for something, you will get what you want, but your neighbor will get twice of what you asked for. So this guy got really panicked. Oh my God. I did all the endeavor. I did tapasya. I went to Lord Shiva and I get the bell and I will enjoy, and then my neighbor will get twice of them. So he hid the bell and he did not reveal this to his own wife. He went and hid this bell inside his house. So one day, this lady was cleaning the house and she found this bell. She was so tired since morning. She was cleaning and said, oh my God, I don't know if there is anyone who can give me a full plate of wonderful prasadam to eat, food to eat. So like that, she somehow rang the bell, and to her surprise, wonderful thali barke prasadam came, food came. She enjoyed. So she thought that maybe this bell is some magic. So she kept on desiring something, kept on ringing the bell, one after the other thing, whatever she desired for, necklace, jewelry, a dress, silk cloths, this, that, whatever she asked for came. And she kept on ringing the bell, ringing the bell, ringing the bell. She got everything that she asked. In the evening, the husband who went for the work came back. And by the time she had already demanded a 4-story building and all sorts of palatial arrangement. So this guy couldn't even figure out where he was and finally reached the house. So instead of he being happy, he went and shouted at the wife, what have you done? She said, do you know, where are we? Why are we hit this bell? This bell is so wonderful. I said, you stupid lady, you know what this bell can do? You got whatever you got. You go out, your neighbor has got twice that of what you have got. So that lady got so sad. Oh my God, what a mistake I have done. Don't worry, I have a solution for this. So she, rang the bell and started praying to the Lord, saying that, may one of the eyes of my husband go blind. So this husband was starting to scream, hey, what are you praying for? Hey, just imagine, if your one eye would go, the neighbors, both the eyes will go. So whatever he had got, anyway, he will not enjoy, let us enjoy. It's a very funny way of saying, this is matsara. I will not tolerate somebody else who is enjoying, who is successful, who is happy, who is making progress. Sometimes some of our God brothers, God sisters would have come after us in Krishna consciousness, would have made progress ahead of us. He would get garland from spiritual master, would get accolades from spiritual master. Instead of we being happy, we get some sort of a, funny feelings within ourselves. So typically, this is someone's substance of all forms of envy. This is matsara. That's what Maharaj is explaining. So in our typical explanation, whenever we say envy, we refer matsara, but the other 3 forms are children of this envy. The kala form or dvesha form. So they are all a smaller version of envy, which we need to definitely be careful about. Am I making sense, Mataji?
Perfect, Prabhuji. On that example, I think now I understand perfectly what it is. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhuji, Matajis have raised hands. Do you have time, Prabhu?
Sure.
Thank
Sure.
Thank you. Anita Ramaya Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I think Preeti Lasini Mataji is having some question. Let her go first, then after that I'll ask.
Sure, Mataji.
Oh my God, Preeti Lasini Mataji is going to ask me a question, huh?
What?
Go ahead, Mataji.
I really like the class so much. Thank you for speaking about this 4 types of envy, the pesticide, and generally about the greatness of pure devotees and how the Lord shows different, he shows us what do you say, the intimate things that he doesn't show others, he shows to these pure devotees, like he showed us strict calm form and all these different instances. This is such a nice class, Prabhu. Thank you so much. I had 2 questions, Prabhu. One is, when you were talking about the 6-arm form, you mentioned about Nrsimhadev, 2 arms of Nrsimhadev. Can you elaborate more on that? Was it a form that was showed anywhere, or how do we understand?
I was reading from the purport which Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj gave. So where he was explaining about the commentary, Gaudiya Bhashya, the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj for the verse number 82, 83 once again. Yeah. So he was saying, I mean, the commentary says that there are some 400 form and there are some 600 form. So basically, in different 600 form, this was also, when I read it for the first time, I was also reading, I was also thinking about this point, that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed different 600 forms. I guess 3 or 4 times he had shown the 600 forms. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj writes here, the combination of the 2 arms of Nrsingadeva, 2 arms of Rama and 2 arms of Krishna comprise the 6 Sadbhuja form. This is one Sadbhuja. There is one more Sadbhuja where he shows Kamandalu and of Chaitanya Deva, as well as bow and arrow and flute and conch shell. So probably this is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj's explanation, where he says in one of the forms of 600 form, he is saying that Nrsingadeva's one arm, where is Abhaya Hasta, where he is showing I am trying to protect my devotees, and on the other side he is showing the the nails that I'll tear your heart apart if you're envious of the devotees. So that's all I could say. I'm not sure there are more signs to this. Probably you yourself can help me learn. But this is I just read it from here, and I just shared it with you all.
Thank you, Prabhu. Actually, even I was curious where he showed this 2 extra hands of Nrsingadev. I mean,
yeah, because we just read in 2 chapters before the Sadbhuja form, Caitanya Bhagavata, and I also did not come across this combination of Sadbhuja form. So, so I do not know. Maybe we'll have to find out. We'll ask. Maybe I'll check, or you can also check and share with us.
Definitely, thank you, Prabhu. And this 4 Kala Mats, right, let me go in the correct order. Kala, Dvesha, Anasuya, Mats. No, just Asuya, and
Asuya.
Asuya, yeah. Anasuya. But Asuya and Matsara. Yes, very nicely explained, Prabhu. I love this section that you were talking about. In that, I had a question. I was just trying to comprehend the 4 in my mind. And I was wanting to know, is there any gradation, like in terms of intensity, which is more intense, and then which is more intense, or which is more subtle, which is more gross, like that? Is there some understanding that we can have so that I can remember the 4 levels?
Based on the explanation of His Holiness Mahavishnu Maharaj, because I read when I was preparing, I was just going through some parts, and I came across Mahavishnu Maharaj's explanation. So according to him, Matsara is the father of all the 3. Asuya is a subtle form of envy, and Kala is about one child, and Dvesha is one child. So I mean, that is the way I have understood. I'm not sure if anyone is better or less better or more better. None of them are better, but just that the way it means is, maybe it is how they build up. So it starts building up from Kala and eventually reach till Matsara. So maybe when you are able to recognize at the first stage that if you are planning and executing to, like if I think of bad about someone, maybe that is where I have to stop checking, oh my God, a new disease is growing within me, so let me stop it here. That is called planning and execution. This is Kala. If you can't stop at that level, so then Maharaj is explaining very nicely. He says, the Dvesha, this envy is very dangerous and affects our blood circulation. And that's exact word he uses. He says, basically, we tend to hate the living entity and create enmity for them in our minds. So if we are not careful at the Kala stage, probably Dvesha, and if you're not careful at Dvesha, it will become, your second nature of finding fault with everyone. And finally, you become a mosquito biting everyone left, right, center. Like how Madhavananda Prabhu explains about pride. Pride also, there are 3 stages of pride. Mada, Drishta, Uddanda. So the gradation or the classification of pride is also increasing. As much as Krishna consciousness science have got varieties to learn, our anarthas also have some varieties.
Yeah.
So different classifications of nonsenses. So my understanding is acharyas are going to that granularity level so that early recognition or early symptoms could help us save us from that particular pest.
Yeah, it's so sad, Prabhu. I was just thinking to go from kala to dvesha, it's like an instant, right? Your blood boils in a minute.
Yes. No second you get there.
Yeah, so sad. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Prabhu. This was so helpful for self-analysis as well. Thank you for the very wonderful.
Actually, I was just thinking about this, this especially these classifications you get to see after you coming into Krishna consciousness. Because before you're in Krishna consciousness, anyway we were in gutter. So now after coming into Krishna consciousness, you get to see this happen. So that's when you have to start checking. One of the stages of purification is you recognize such nonsenses are within me. Because when my god brother is ahead of me, when my fellow friends are getting recognized, when they are getting more service opportunity, when they are getting the accolades, when they are getting, suppose for example, 4 of you go for the yatra and Radhanath Maharaj gives garland to one person and 3 of you just give a cold smile. So you get, whether you are happy, smiling, jumping, hey, my friend got blessings, or you say, oh my God, I'm, whatever. So these are all things you get to realize, get to identify only when we are in Krishna consciousness. So that way, Krishna consciousness is a boon. At least it helps us to know that I'm suffering with this multiple personality disorder. I was taking that course in our temple this Sunday. So we were discussing about the multiple personality disorder that we all are affecting with. Who are we? Are we the person from when I'm in Mangalarati to Bhagavatam class? Or am I a person that I am from morning 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the office? Am I a person when I'm from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock with my family? Or am I a one when 8 o'clock at night to 12 o'clock when I'm alone with my mobile phone and iPad with nobody around me? Who am I actually? I don't know. I don't know. When I'm giving Bhagavatam class, I may sound like as if a great devotee. But as soon as everything is shut down and I'm alone in the room and on my own with the data access, that's when we'll really know who we are. So I guess we have at least I have a long way to go. But these classes, these discussions, this churning, these notes at least will somewhere or other. The solace is 1.7.7 and the warning is 3.32.39 to 42. So that is how I have mapped this. So I know this is something that is I cannot access this, and I know that access is also available in the same place. So that is how I understood, Mataji.
Very beautiful, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Very nice discussion.
Hare Krishna.
Anita Mataji, go ahead.
Good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Wow, very very nice discussion. Actually, I was having. It was like speaking. You were speaking my mind also. Like I was always having this question: why this duality is there in me? Like when we come in association with devotees, the face is different, and when we are at home or with relatives, or like with parents or with children, the face is different. So why this duality is there always? So I was just contemplating on that, and I was thinking maybe I should have more firm determination in doing my sadhana. I was thinking, but that firm determination, I don't know when it will come. It's only by the mercy of the devotees. And also, Prabhuji, in the class, you were saying this association of devotees. Like, yes, we go and associate with devotees, and and while spreading this Sankirtan, like while we are preaching, there are some envious persons also in the crowd who will be there listening. So how will they take and how can we explain to them? Like to the envious
the idea is
persons.
that,
So we cannot lead them also.
Now the idea is that both the statements that we said may apparently appear contradicting. One is envious people, agnostic people, fault finders, hypocrites cannot be given these instructions. And anyone who hears oral reception to the signs of Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is free from fearfulness, illusion, and lamentation. Both are simultaneously true statements. That is why I said, Prabhupada used to give a wonderful example. A jaundice patient who has lost the taste, if he is given sugarcane juice, because he lost his taste, he will find the sugarcane juice bitter. But it is explained that sugarcane juice is very good for a jaundice disease. If we continue to take them, that which is going to act like a medicine in the beginning, which will become a diet, which will eventually become lifeline. So Srimad Bhagavatam is like that for us. Today we call out everyone, we know their heart is filled with enviousness and animosity and agnostic feelings. But at that time, Srimad Bhagavatam will act on that person as medicine. When he is consuming medicine, when he gets cured, it will act as a diet. So you will start consuming it as a food. So once he is enjoying and becoming very healthy, the Srimad Bhagavatam will become his life. Sarva Sastrabdi Piyusha, Sarva Vedaika Satphala. In Bhagavata Mahima Stotra, Sanatana Goswami Pada is explaining the fourth prayer of that Bhagavata Mahima Stotra is like that. Madeka Bando, Matsangi, Madguro, Man Mahadana, Man Nishtaraka, Madbhagya, Madananda Namostute. So he's explaining Srimad Bhagavatam as Madeka Bandhu. He is my only friend. Madguru is my spiritual master. Madeka Bandhu, Matsangin. He is my sangha. He is my association. Madguru is my spiritual master. Man Mahadanaha. Srimad Bhagavatam is my greatest wealth. Mad Bhagya is my bhagyam. Is my good fortune. So he is explaining how Srimad Bhagavatam will eventually become our everything. So that is not day one. That is day n. But day one is Srimad Bhagavatam will act like a medicine. So Krishna consciousness is to be given for everyone. But the way Krishna consciousness will work on everyone depends upon how they are. That is why it is a very dynamic and a very wonderful process. Making sense, Mataji?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. Very, very wonderful explanation. Whatever it is, we have to tell. Taking in or not, it depends upon Krishna's mercy. So
plus,
that's how I understand.
Use little intelligence, because as we preach, we also use some consideration on whom I am giving, how much I am giving. The child is fed differently than an adult is fed differently than an old man is fed differently. So that is the discretion of a preacher. But the food is same. Ingredients are same. The dosage may be different. The way the food acts on that person is different. But Srimad Bhagavatam, one single Srimad Bhagavatam is going to transform a person from Naradama to Narottama.
Very, very wonderful, Prabhuji. And this about the envies, you were saying that 4 categories, and you said this lecture about Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj.
Yeah. Somebody already, Vishwanath Prabhu has already shared the link. You can click
Fine,
that.
I'll check. Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for that very nice answer. Prahladanand Prabhuji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Dhanva Pranam Mataji and Dhanva Pranam to Prabhuji and everything. I don't have question, Prabhuji, but I heard little about this Matsarya, and I heard in some lecture it says that this fourth stage you mentioned about Matsara is related to the word Matsya. Matsya means the fish. And the fish is extremely envious of another fish. And that's why it follows it. So that fourth, as you are saying, is the map of all other three. But also I relate that, Guru and Krishna tells us during the 9.1 Bhagavad Gita, he says, Idam tu te guhyatano, pravachyami anasuyam. At the third stage, Bhagavan will give us his knowledge to us, his love to us like that. That's what but it's a long journey that we reach Anasuya stage also. What to say of Matsara like that?
It's not Anasuya, it's Asuya.
Asuya. But Bhagavan Krishna means as Anasuya, right? because you are not envious of me. That's why I'm giving you this knowledge. Right?
Sure, but I'm saying fine. Maybe there may be other details, but the four names are Kala, Dvesha, Asuya, and Matsara.
So the first one is called Kala. Kala means time, or
No, Kala, K-H-A-L-A. Kala.
Kala. I see.
Kala is K-A-L-A.
That's right. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Kala, right?
Kala.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Very excellent discourse today. As well as you.
So Mahavishnu Maharaj, when he was explaining about Matsara, he says in Machara. Machar means mosquitoes. So,
right.
I'm not sure if you all had seen Mahavishnu Maharaj at some point in your lives. It's a very, very wonderful Bhagavatam speaker and very nicely recites Bhagavatam shlokas. His disciples are very much fond of Bhagavatam studies. So I had a good fortune of sometimes meeting him and also hearing his sessions. Yesterday, the reason I went on to his lectures is because last 2-3 days I'm associating with some of his disciples. So we were discussing these all verses, and suddenly when I had to prepare for this class, it's all, maybe it was like Maharaj came and gave points so that today I have to speak. Otherwise, I don't know what to speak. Every time I get Preeti Vilasini Mataji gives such interesting verses to me, tests all my quotients and say that this guy, can he speak or not? Puts me on the spot. So I was praying to Krishna, something I have to make a meaningful sentence here. So these all helped me.
I had fortune.
No, that is not that Mahavishnu Maharaj is not the one. That is different Mahavishnu Maharaj. There are two Mahavishnu Maharaj in this one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
The Maharaj who plays accordion is still alive. He's still preaching. He's traveling around. There's one Mahavishnu Maharaj. His name is Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. He used to be preaching a lot in London. He is basically a Gujarati by birth. And he used to have a base in Rajkot, Dwaraka, all those places, and has a very nice, set of disciples.
Yeah, I met him in Rajkot. He was building the new.
Oh, okay, very nice.
That's right. And body was like also marvelous, quite heavy and all that. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dear devotees, are there any more realizations or questions for Prabhuji? If there's nothing, with your permission, can we end today's call, Prabhu?
Sure. Thank you.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha. The Caitanya Bhagavata ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Prabhuji ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Koti Dandavat Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.